Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about dressing for a formal evening event. So at some point you may be invited to an evening ball or a get together of some description, and you need to dress for the occasion, and sometimes there's a dress code applied to that function. So for example, it could be lounge suits, it could be black tie, and it could be very formalised in some cases. And today's video is just steering you through some of the options available to you and how we might wear them or pair them for certain events. So the first one we're going to talk about is the lounge suit. So on an invite you might see something where it says dress code lounge suits. Now what this means is basically a suit. So we're talking about a dark navy suit or a black suit. It's worn in the evenings, and we wear a tie that is quite dull. It's not a bright coloured tie, so it would be muted colours. So in this case I like to use a burgundy tie with a slightly black pattern on it to complement the blackness in the suit. And also the pocket square, I use more of a folded version rather than the puffy example, and I use something that's got black and burgundies in it again. We use a white cotton shirt, and with that it's a double cuff shirt, so we've got some cufflinks to go with that. It just elevates that style a little bit more. And if it comes to a watch, then we're using something that is black strapped or plain metal, not a coloured face. Try and go for a white or a black faced watch as an example. Now in this video we're showing you the outfit, so here you can see from the start it's quite a nice aesthetic to look at. It's not too much in your face, but it also demonstrates how powerful the colour black can be, with black Oxford shoes in this case, and we're using cufflinks and quite a nice elevated look. Suit is a straightforward two-buttoned notched lapel suit, pretty much a standard suit, but it is jet black in colour. And in an evening setting, especially for a ball or something along those lines, then black or very dark inky black or inky blue coloured suit is ideal for evening wear. So from here, the next elevation, if you like, is going to be what we call black tie. And this is a little bit more formal. It's more of a uniform as such. And I'm going to show you pretty much a traditional look that you'll see quite often with people wearing black tie. So here we are dressed for a black tie event. You'll notice with this it's a double-breasted dinner jacket, wearing a white handkerchief as a fold over, and we've self-tied a black tie, bow tie. The shirt is a covered placard and cufflinks with a French cuff. And we're wearing some really shiny shoes with this. It's quite common to see this. Now you'll notice here I'm wearing a waistcoat. This is a traditional look for a dinner jacket, and so therefore a waistcoat is quite common to see with this form of dress. The other form that you will see is what we call a cummerbund, and I'll show you that version as well. So in this version we're using a cummerbund, and this is basically something that arrived from hot climates and quite sticky situations, quite humid conditions. And it was an invention, I believe, by the Americans really, where they decided the waistcoat was a little bit too much on top of a dinner jacket as well. And bearing in mind the really good ones are made of really good quality wool. So in this case they decided to introduce something else to pay homage to the waistcoat but be more comfortable to wear. And so this is where it came from. And if you're unsure about what way it should be facing, then the quickest way of remembering this is it's a crumb catcher. So the little pleats that go across, they should be facing up so that any crumbs would drop into them. And to be fair, you might hear from time to time where somebody's actually found the crumbs in there after the night's event. So once it comes to black tie, then there are many different versions of black tie. So for example, in the military we have mess dress, which is a form of black tie. It is, whilst we wear a black bow tie and we wear a white covered plaid shirt, or it could be one with studs in the shirt, but then the rest is very uniformed in that it will be a scarlet jacket, possibly ornate trim on it, and dark serge trousers. Normally they are George boots and they may or may not have spurs on them. So that's the military side of it, and that's the equivalent of black tie. But the other thing we have is something that I'm going to touch on today, which is the Scottish version of black tie. And so this might introduce you, if you've got a Scottish heritage and you want to dress differently than just a straightforward black tie, then maybe this is an option for you. So here we have what's called a Lowland look. And what we mean by that is that we're wearing trews instead of a kilt. And trews is basically a pair of trousers. They are made of tartan. Tartan related to a particular clan or family. And you might have be part of a sept of a clan, which might entitle you to wear a certain family tartan. But the essential thing is we're wearing a Prince Charlie jacket, and with this we're wearing a cummerbund, and again those obligatory shiny shoes. You can change these for a more Scottish brogue or a brogue shoe, and that would be in keeping with the Scottish heritage. Now I would say again, French cuff shirt, cufflink. You'll notice on the jacket you'll either have square, diamond or round buttons. The significance of that is that diamonds and squares are traditional. The round buttons are a military button, and that's a slight difference. So you notice that I'm wearing a cummerbund with that, but you might want to change that and dress slightly differently by using the traditional waistcoat with that. And that's the next look I'm going to show you. So here we have a different look for you. Slight variation on the previous one, still in the Lowland look. But on this occasion we're wearing the traditional waistcoat with the Prince Charlie jacket. And we're wearing some what I would consider to be called Highland brogues. So they've got a pebble print on them, and they're a lot more rugged and more traditional country wear. Now the variation on that might be, for example, ghillie shoes, and I'll show you a pair of those in the next couple of sections, or what is traditionally a buckled brogue. And that is quite an uncommon sight nowadays, but again, it's another variation that you might consider. So again, we're progressing into formal dress, versions of black tie. And historically, I have heard of people being turned away from events for wearing traditional Scottish attire. National dress is a kilt, and so it is a form of black tie. So it should be treated with the same respect and dignity as a black tie. And so on this occasion, I'm going to wear traditional kilt for you and show you the variations of that kilt wear as well. So in this look, we've got pretty much a typical look that you would see most people wear. Can be used for evening wear, can be used for weddings, that sort of thing. There are some key points I want to raise with this particular look, and that is that it's all about respecting your heritage. And so don't do this or wear this as a joke. It's a serious thing to do. And so in this case, we're going for a slightly relaxed look, and in this case we're going to wear cream socks. Now I know what the purists will say, you don't wear cream socks with evening wear, but unfortunately since the hire industry started to hire tartan and kilts, they've exaggerated the wearing of cream socks. Because it's quite easy for them to stock them, it's easier to sell them. And it's quite a good look. But traditionally, there's only really drummers and pipers and dancers might wear cream socks. But generally, it's the pipers and the drums that would wear traditional cream socks. Everybody else really should be wearing socks that complement either the jacket or a colour within the tartan. I'm wearing with this some Highland brogues, and the little dagger that you can see sticking out of the sock or the hose is actually a ski and do. And there's an argument about what side you put it in, on your left side or your right side. But in truth, it's you're left or right-handed. There are the little myths that go around about left for love and right for revenge. But I don't subscribe to that. And I think it is literally left or right-handed. So with this look, we've got a white sporran. Now that is something you need to be aware of, is that there are day wear and there are evening wear sporrans. So typically this silver chanter on the top, that signifies an evening wear. If it's a flap that goes over, like a purse flap, then that is a day wear. Although having said that, nowadays anybody wearing a kilt is a spectacle, something to be revered, and even if you do wear a day sporran on a night when you're going to be wearing, and should be wearing an evening one, not many people in the UK would pick you up on it, because at least you've made the effort in wearing a kilt. So here's another look for you, a variation, this time with the waistcoat, and we're wearing gilly brogues on this occasion. Pretty much everything else isn't the same. The only difference is really the brogues, as in the gilly brogues, and I think this is typically what most people would see people wear on an evening event. But I have one more look to show you. So here we are, another look, and this time again Prince Charlie jacket, but this time we've got military buttons on it, and it's a wider peaked lapel version of that. And traditionally we're wearing black socks with that because it matches the jacket, and then we're wearing some Highland brogues with that look. And this look is because my dear friend Danny has allowed me to wear his kilt and his ensemble that he wears on a regular basis alongside my own. And so this is dedicated to him, and bless him, he's pushing on 84, 85, and he still looks good in this. So this look here is basically the same as we've looked at before. We're using a black watch kilt here. Ski and do is his ski and do, and the jacket is with military buttons rather than civilian buttons, and that is in homage to his service to this country. And the sporran is an evening sporran, and quite a good look overall. I mean, you could argue you could wear gillies or buckled brogues with this look, but again, I think it's all about the heritage and paying homage to that heritage that really counts if you're going to wear something like this for a black tie event. So when it comes to black tie, the next level up, then it comes down to variations of the dinner jacket, for example. It could be single-breasted, double-breasted. It could be peak lapel, notched lapel, or shouldered lapel. So there are different variations that you could go for. The same with the waistcoat. If you're wearing a waistcoat with that, again, it could be a number of variations. So then we come to whether you wear a waistcoat with it or whether you wear a cummerbund, and there are variations in the bow tie. So for example, it could be, traditionally it's black, satin black, but it could be a coloured one as well, which I don't really suggest you go for unless it's a very similar to this, a very dark and muted colour to go with that look. But black tie generally goes with a black tie. So there we have our little whistle stop tour of black tie, and so I know it's not exhaustive. We're just going through some levels of dressing for a formal event or an evening. So for example, it could be a summer ball, it could be going to the opera, it could be going to the theatre, it could be some other regimental do, or as a civilian you might need to go to a special function or a wedding where a dress code is in place. And it could be something like this, the lounge suit, all the way up to black tie, and with that I've incorporated, in this case, a special edition of Scottish attire as a salute to the Scottish version of black tie. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. I'll put the link down below so you can do that. So we love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make them, jot them down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Until next time, take care.